Everyone wants to know how to make a crown. If you've ever gone to a store and actually seen plastic crowns that they have, say after Halloween or a cosplay thing, you may not really like them. You can alter them to make them look good for your costume or theatrical shoot or whatever. But I'm going to show you today one of the most awesomest ways to make your own crown. And you can do this any type of design, style, shape, form, whatever you want to do it, and it all starts here. Are you ready? Let's do this. First thing you're going to need today is 3 sheets. 3 sheets of OHP, which stands for overhead projector plastic. Now you can get this at any supply store that sells office supply materials. Usually there are still people that use overhead projectors, and basically now I'm using this for craft materials. Now if you can't find this, go to a Michael's store or any online shopping place and get some soft but firm plastic. If you can bend it like this, you're in the groove. Okay, you're gonna need 3 sheets of that. You're also gonna need today a soft brush, some titanium white, I'm using a 901, a good handy dandy staple gun, a permanent magic marker, a glue stick, and your handy dandy glue gun, and a lot of glue sticks if you do a lot of designs. So now let's create our crown. Okay, I'm putting down these 3 sheets of, oh, hey, I got 4 on there, but we only need 3 because that is the magic number. 3 is the magic number. And you will put them together like this, and we're going to use our glue stick. First of all, we want to create sandwich glue. We're going to use the first sheet down here. We're going to do this like this. Put the glue stick on, fold it over half. Okay. Second one, this is the second sheet, and the top sheet needs nothing. Spread that down. Now, work on the other side. Apply your glue stick. Okay, we're making a sandwich here. This fuses the 3 sheets together so nicely. If you can use a sheet of plastic that is thick enough, that's firm and malleable enough, you will bypass that. Now, once you get it to this section, we're going to use our staple gun, and we want to staple the edges. Just the bottom piece over here, and turn it over and do the other side. I put the white paper down so you can actually see what I'm doing, because my desk, my work table here doesn't do justice. Now we're going to fold this in half like that. That takes a little bit of muscle there, and you will have 2 sides. Okay, let's cut this down the center. Okay, cutting process. Once you get these 2 panels made, you now have enough space to actually put these 2 together here. You can see I cut one a little bit bigger than the other one, but it doesn't really matter because your crown's only going to be this big. And we could staple it here or hot glue it together. Now, the reason is we are going to fold this over to the size of our head, and then we can mark it with a permanent magic marker and then make the loop. And that's going to size it to whatever size head you have. And interestingly enough, this is custom designing, okay? So you can't go to a supply center or costuming shop and get exactly the size that you want, but this one will work out perfectly. So let's do that now. Okay, I'm just going to staple it over here. Staple it a little bit more deeper in there. Staple it a little bit over here. Staple it over here. Okay, you can always take these staples out a little bit later, but once I'm going to measure this to my head, and I'm going to find out how big this is going to fit me. So let me do that right now. Once you have got your head size measured and you just put one more staple in there to secure it, now comes a very interesting part. You can now make 2 crowns out of this. If you want to use the whole entire thing for a very elegant upright crown, that's awesome. But we just created the loop and it's nice and soft and malleable. If we add some design to this, I'm going to show you how to work this. If you add a design, you can just rough this out later. So what I did was I roughed out what this is going to look like. We are now going to cut this out. Now it's folded in half, so I'm going to have 2 crowns when we get done with this, okay? You have 2 different crowns in here, but we just want to work on one of them today. So once you get that marked, you can cut this in half. Now we can cut out our excess material. So let's do that now. Because it's folded, it's going to replicate whatever you do on one side to the other side. Remember when you were small, you made snowflakes? This just takes a little bit of practice, but once you get this done, line that back up again, you'll be in the fix, so to speak. So, okay. So I'm going to show you what this looks like right after it's completed. Once you get your design made, it will look like this. Okay. So if you have this now in this state, which is totally great, you can now apply your first layer of white to this. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. This was for a thematic photo shoot doing white ice goth, and I had made up some crowns earlier. I'm using a very large, very generous brush today, and you're just going to apply the white on here. Just layer it up. Don't worry about anything else. You can cover it up later. But the white is the basis for all of the faux finishes that you might want to add on here. If you've seen my other tutorial videos on how to do faux finishing and making faux metal finishes, you know, you don't have to be just stuck with gold. I mean, there's so many other different colors you can create. There's bronze and coppers and all kinds of other materials. So once I get this completely painted, I'll show you what it looks like. Totally, check this out. So this has been double coated. I did the inside and the outside of the crown. Now, you probably say, can I just use a spray paint on this? No, don't. I'm going to tell you why. During prop making, the most important things are the details. You want the texture. It's still wet, so I can't really show you at the moment, but you want the texture on there to look like it's poured metal. I had made a Superman chain, and that was the most important thing. When people say, oh, can I just spray it? No, you don't want to spray it. You want to hand paint it or use the paint to create texture. Now, once this dries, and you can put this under a hair dryer and dry it instantly or let it air dry. Compared to that, the next step we're going to use is our glue gun to add details to this. So let's wait till this dries, or I'm going to speed it up right now and I'm going to show you how to use this process. This was put under a hair dryer and it was just dried in like 3 minutes. So basically when you're using acrylic paints, like I'm using the Alpha brand over here, this is a 901, they can dry very instantly under a hair dryer. But if you're like me and very, very patient, you can just let it air dry. I've got my hot glue gun fired up today. Make sure that it is working. Be very, very, very careful of your fingers. Be very careful. Hot glue guns are hot, basically, you know, so use common sense when working on a project and having a hot glue gun like this. I have to show you how to do a pattern on here. So I'm going to use the all over pattern because I love this look. And this pattern, you can see I'm creating, is basically a small spiral, and I'm doing it. See, I don't like that glue gun close to my fingers, so you keep that thing away, all right? But here, we are creating an all-over effect with our glue gun. And what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to stop on that. Can you see this? Okay. We're going to let this dry. You can do the whole entire crown. But we are going to, once that cools, we're going to apply another coat over this, which is the acrylic 901. And I'm going to show you what that looks like on another crown that I had just completed. Okay, check this out. This is the one that I had done yesterday. This was going to go into a pre-shoot that I was going to be working on for a Gothic Ice white clothing thing. But as you can see, it's not completely done. But we have the basis now to paint this any single color we want. If we want this gold, if we want this bronze, if we want this ironed, we want this to be medieval. We have all kinds of choices from now, because once we get this part completed, boom, we are on our way. Using the hot glue gun to create a texture of any type, shape, or form is your choice. What you put on there is what you want to have on there. But this is the basis for creating a crown. Also, you can also change the shape if you wanted to make this a little bit more beveled in. If you wanted to put, after you do the faux finishing on it, if you want to start putting your gemstones and diamonds and other materials on there, I want to show you one element that can be added extra. Those are faux pearls that can be added to your crowns. You can just go off the deep end when you create these things. And this is just one technique of so many techniques, because I've done, dozens and dozens of props. So let's now mix up a faux finish now to put on this crown. Today I'm going to show you the secret of antique gold. Well, can't you just use gold from the acrylics collection? No, you don't want to do that. This is cosplay. You want it done right. Today we're using a 566 silver and a generous amount because we've got to coat that crown. Okay. And today we're going to be using a dot of 999 black. Really love this color. And the secret color that's going to make the antique gold come to life is permanent yellow deep number 4. There, look at that. We are going to blend these three colors together. I'm using a large brush. We want to move our lightest colors into our darkest here. So I'm now going to mix up the silver and the yellow together. A little bit more into there. The silver is going to be the catalyst that's going to create the right color. Okay. This becomes an antique gold. Now, if you see my other tutorials on how I do, there it is, it's coming, there it's coming, hey, look at this. If you've seen my other tutorials that I've done on faux finishing, you will also know that I have one video on my collection about creating faux metal finishes. I really like this color. There, look at this. This is great. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to apply this antique gold. Keep mixing it like this, back and forth, to get that color onto our crown. Okay, so today we're going to be using our antique gold to apply it. Okay, do a generous coat. You may need 2 or 3 coats. It's a little bit muddy, but it's going to be great when it dries. Get your crown completely painted up, and let's see what this looks like when it's finished. Now, once you get the finish done on your crown, I'm going to tell you a big secret. If you are creating antique gold, it should have this beautiful greenish tinge to it. I'm going to show you what a rich gold looks like in comparison. You can say, wow, that's orange compared to the green. Exactly. There's a very big difference between something that's medieval and old looking and something that's modern. So you can tone this down, but it is so much better to mix this type of metal finish. What we're going to do now is we're going to use an antiquing wash and we're going to make this even more older. Let's do it. For our antique finishing we're going to use today, this is a 999 black, the same type of black that we had used earlier for our project. We're just going to do a little dot of this. Actually, I need to go get another bottle because I'm almost out. But a little dot and some water, and we're going to create a slurry. I want to also share that if you are into making these crowns, I had seen crowns just like this at a Renaissance fair for sale. So if you're really good at creating these and you want to start turning them out for a profit, you know, hey, there'll be someone out there that will want to buy one of them. We're going to now apply our antique finish to the crown. Let all of the black pool into any parts. Okay. Just apply it on there. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done. Don't use a hot dry, do not use a hair dryer on this. Let this air dry. Comes one of the cooler parts of my video, adding the parts that you want to add, like gemstones and things that go on the crown. Over here I have these pins with the pearls already on them if you wanted to put them on the top of each and every triangle of your crown. And we also have these artificial diamonds. I'm going to be very blunt with you. No prop maker is going to use these. These look terrible. These are 21st century plastic dollar store diamonds. And I'm going to show you how to make these look like they're gemstones for the medieval crown. You could also use these half pearls over here, which look really cool. If you were making something that's a little bit more darker, for example, you could use something like these skulls. And I have a whole entire collection of these skulls, and I had antiqued this one up a little bit more if you wanted to put these in your skull. But how do you make diamonds and gemstones look like they're medieval? Well, I would highly recommend getting some air dry clay today, as I'm using the Amos brand. This color is black, but you can use any color you want because you're going to be painting over it with the same type of technique that we use to paint the crown, the antique gold. We're going to do some gemstone settings today. Are you ready? Oh, and by the way, you're probably wondering what this is. Sometimes on the bottom of crowns, there will be a soft part that will go on the head. If you wanted to use a lining or something, I would highly recommend using a fabric like this. Now, this is a loom fabric that I have gotten from over in South Korea, but the look is just so cool. But today, we're going to be working on gemstones, and we'll talk about this at another time. Gemstones, which ones look the best? Well, I'd highly recommend using these. The round ones are nice and stuff, but I would say for our crown, pushing those aside, we're going to be focusing on, no, not the Powerpuff Girl colored diamonds over here. No, we're not going to be dealing with those. We're going to be dealing with these stones right here. Now, how do you alter the color of this stone to make it into any color you want? Well, today I'm going to be showing you, with using some glue and some food coloring, how to alter these colors. It's really awesome because I get to show you some great techniques on how to create gemstones in different ways. The first technique we're going to show is using permanent magic markers to alter the stone color. If you use a collection, I have a small collection over here, say we wanted to make this a little bit darker or change it, we would actually use a color okay, I'll use the darker purple one over here, but you could actually right here like this. That looks so much better because it is a darker gemstone. What we're using is a stone that is just a little bit on the light side. Once you use the permanent magic marker to cover the gemstone, you can see we just altered the color completely. into a dark amethyst stone, you could use two techniques to seal that. The first one would be a liquid clear glue, or you could use a lacquer finish. You can just go to any dollar store and get a lacquer finish and spray paint that completely, shellac that down. If you don't have any glue and if you don't have any lacquer finish, nail polish clear will work just fine on that. Just keep away from the odors. If we wanted to create a gemstone and make them black, boom, you can just use a black permanent magic marker and make this darker. I love the way that this looks. Gemstone just changed color and it just feels very medieval and dark. But now we want to make several of our gemstones a little bit different. We're going to be using today assorted food colors and some white glue. And I'm going to show you how to alter, if we can get the glue out. Uh-oh. Okay. It's coming, but it's not very good. That's all we need right there. A little dot will do you. And let's change the color of this gemstone to a darker green. You will need a soft brush. Pick one out here. This will be fine. And we're going to blend that color right into the glue. Okay. If you apply this color onto that gemstone, when that dries, it'll be darker. Now, depending on how much food coloring you use, you can really go dark on these stones. Just smooth it out. Okay. And these are different techniques that you could use to alter your gemstones to make them any single way that you would like them. Highly recommend using darker gemstones on crowns. They just look better. Light ones, not good, especially in cosplay. I don't know what it is, but people recognize, oh, that's a gemstone. Like that. Look at the color change. It's great. Ah, red begoth red. So that is not going to be working on there. Let's see what this will do. Nope, neither that. Okay. Anyways, the red's going to be our trouble piece right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put more glue down. I'll just use what I got there. And I'm going to be mixing a blue now with the glue. Get another paintbrush here. Okay. Now I'm mixing and putting a blue coating over our red gemstone. Okay, that's going to create a completely different type of gemstone. Okay, now red and blue make purple, but in this case it's going to be a darker, more burgundy color when it fuses. So these are all different techniques to style your gemstones correctly. So this gets really exciting. I'm now showing you what is happening here with the gemstones. So here's the first one, we turned darker. Here's our first one, we also turned darker with the glue. And these are setting up drying, but check out what's happening with the blue over the red. Just as I had talked about having a deep, dark amethyst color, it's doing exactly as I had mentioned. Okay, for our project today, what we're going to do is I'm going to need 8 of these gemstones. I will get other gemstones and we're going to do them all in black because I would like to have this a little bit on the Gothic medieval side. So now let's get 8 of these diamonds set up. They've got color and they resonate exactly what I'm going to use on our crown. So all I did was we had the original colors, we applied a little bit of darkening on there for using the permanent magic markers, but I used the black permanent magic marker over them. And look at the stones now. So I got back our air dried clay. The brand I'm using is called Amos. You can get this online. I love it. And I'm creating a finding now for our gemstones. I'm putting our clay down on a piece of paper, typing paper, and in 24 hours, when these dry, we will be able to just pop them off of the paper. Okay, so now I've got that black on there. Let's take one of our gemstones off very carefully. Do some application here. When you put the stone in there, press down. Boom. The gemstone is now look like it's been encased in metal. You could do several elements at this point. If you wanted to actually put some smaller pieces like spurs to make it look like it's holding the gemstone in there, you could grab this and pull it over like this. Look at that. Okay. Let this dry for 24 hours and then we'll see what it looks like when it's done. Creating a close-up for you so you can actually see the work that I've done putting back into shape. So now we have a stone that's in a finding. I'm going to add a little bit more decoration to the corners. Boom. Okay, now let's do the other 8 of them. These are our gemstones now placed in their findings. Beautiful. Another very important element I want to show everybody today is how to insert pearls. I'm making a small ball of clay. I'm using the half pearls or half studs, ripping one off here and inserting it into our finding, pressing right in the middle and building that up. So I'm going to let all of these now set for 24 hours, and we're going to see what these look like in the morning. We are in the final home stretch right now. As you can see, I got all the gemstones and I had painted around them, each and every one, since they all dried. You can see, I hope you can see the color in there. Can you actually see the color of the gemstones? Check that out. Isn't that beautiful? Each and every one of them is different color. I love them. Beautiful. The gemstones, very, very, how you say, impressive, and yeah, I'm very happy. Reds and we just changed them from 21st century plastic pastel colors to these rich, realistic colored gemstones. So this is a really big thing. I think I should make a whole entire video just on how to do that. And then I had done up all the pearls, and let's now put them on our crown. In the final part of our crown, we just have to figure out where we want to place them. I'm going to be placing the larger gemstones right about there, and then I'm thinking that I would like to put one of the pearls at the lower part down here. Okay, so I got my hot glue gun setting up over here, and it's plugged in, so when that gets hot, let's start gluing them on. So now that I've got all of the gemstones on there, this looks really great. It came out beautiful. And when you put this on a head, it is going to look really, really nice. I love it because it's flexible and it fits to any shaped head. So let's put it on mine. So today I get to, actually I've got on my medieval shirt, which I love, and I'm going to display my crown today I made. I hope that you love this as much as I do. What do you think? Medievally and gothically yours, Professor M.